Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE TLC 2019 preview and predictions. We have got a grand total, at least that I know of 7 matches announced for this show. Unless I missed something coming out of Smackdown tonight, there are 7 matches. I want to double check just to make completely sure that I didn't miss anything. TLC 2019, 7 matches. Okay, I just wanted to go back and really double check. And yeah, we've got 7 matches. I've tried my best to order them in a reasonably comprehensive order in the description, and that'll be the order that we cover them in. So we've got Rusev versus Bobby Lashley, and even though that does have a stipulation, I wanted us to get that done and out of the way first, because that is far and away the match on this card that I am looking the least amount forward to. Then our second match is unfortunately really I wanted to really build this match up because it's going to be a really good match and I expect it to be a potential show stealer. But Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy feels like the next least important match on this card. Then we've got Bray Wyatt versus The Miz, and the only reason that that is as low as it is because, again, no title on the line, no Fiend, all that stuff. Then we've got the Viking Raiders defending the Raw Tag titles against whom we don't know. Then we've got the New Day versus the Revival in a ladder match defending the SmackDown tag titles. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin, or King Corbin, sorry, in a TLC match. And I only have that as one of the last 2 matches, not because it's important, but because it's a TLC match, and that's literally the name of the pay-per-view. So I really tried to make sure that the matches that were literally like based on the namesake of the show itself were the last 2 that we would talk about. And the most important match on this show by far, the one that's not only it's the TLC match, so it's the namesake of the show, but it's also 4 championships, specifically the women's tag team championships, the Kabuki Warriors defending the women's tag titles against Becky Lynch and Charlotte. And I would not be surprised one bit if that match actually did main event this show. But that being said, John, how are you feeling about as far as your hype level for TLC 2019?
First of all, I want to welcome everybody that's kind of joining us here. Always cool to do preview predictions. Man, I feel weird about this card because I don't abjectly loathe it. You know what I mean? It's just, I think it's really one of those cards, honestly, that's kind of there before the Rumble in January, which obviously, and I don't say this because I think he's going to win. This is purely because this I'm just speaking more as a fan. Obviously, the Royal Rumble is upped in interest for me because Morrison's back, and I know he's going to be in it. And I even heard that he's going to declare which brand he's a part of before the Royal Rumble.
Who's
so that's
this?
going to be Morrison. So just talking about things that are kind of upping my interest. So I know it's not about John Morrison, although every commentary should be about him and those fucking obliques. This is about TLC. So let's just go match by match.
Well, before we do move on, I wanted to address Morrison quickly. The earliest that he could show up and WWE still maintain their promise that we would see him no earlier than 2020 would be the 3rd of December or the 3rd of January, which would be a SmackDown. Or he could just show up on the 6th of January, which would be the first Raw of the new year.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with that. But turning to TLC, I only mention that because, again, it ups my interest for Rumble, and I think everybody's thinking about Rumble because it's the beginning of the road to WrestleMania. This show, on the other hand, let's go. I normally don't do this, but let's go match by match on my end until I give my overall hype rating. Rusev Lashley. Tables match. So the stip might save it, and it might be a good, Haas fight. Black versus Murphy, that could be the fucking sleeper of the night, the thing that a lot of people are overlooking, and it fucking is gangbusters. Really high expectations for that. Bray versus Miz. I actually think that this match is clever, and we're going to get into why when we actually get to that match. So honestly, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. Viking Raiders versus TBD. I mean, TBD is fierce, but I'm thinking Viking Raiders, that should be a solid match.
You know what, though, dude? My concern there is that it's going to end up being AOP.
Yeah. Which, to me, that's a Mania matchup, honestly. But we'll get to that.
I mean, maybe it should be, but WWE. They had the fucking Shield triple threat go down on a goddamn battleground.
Ooh. New Day versus Revival ladder match. Well, that just sounds great. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin DLC. we'll get to that because I have stuff I want to say. And then Kabuki Warriors versus Lynch, TLC for the women's tag titles. So overall, looking at this, I think I'm going to give this a very fair 8 out of 10 because the matches I'm hyped for, I'm really hyped for. There are some matches that I don't want to say I loathe, but I definitely question why they exist, particularly in the way that they exist. But again, I do have quite a few thoughts to share about this, at least some matches. So let's just go right through it. Our first match
let me give you my number first.
Okay, what's your hype level right now?
So I just want to say, if Murphy versus Black was not on this card, I would be at a 6.5.
Okay.
Murphy versus Black brings it up an entire point. I'm at a 7.5.
Not bad. So I gave it, an 8 out of 10? So we're just like within a half-point margin of each other.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of following the WWE trend this year where the television is mediocre at best. None of the storylines are great. Although I will concede that Black Murphy has been at least decent. Wyatt Miz has been great though. That's the one that I really want to highlight. Wyatt Miz has been a really well told story. But that's like an exception because like I was getting ready to say, the television and the story and the building to the matches is mediocre at best. But then the pay-per-views themselves, that's just match after match after match with no extracurricular shit on the side, tend to over-deliver relative to expectation. So I think the WWE has had a really, really good string of pay-per-views this year with very few duds, and I fully expect this to deliver as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I guess let's start unpacking this. What we're going to talk about Rusev Lashley first tables match, right?
Yeah, with Rusev Lashley. Yeah, that's going to be the one that we get into first because there's been, let's just say, some developments in that storyline. Oh, God.
Okay, so because I will say this, I do want to talk about the main event first. So I guess would I go first here then? Because I know we like to do the whole back.
Oh, you want to be the first person to talk when it comes to the main event, so that means that I would have to go first on this.
Okay, so yeah, you go first. Who do you think's winning this?
Okay, so from what I can tell, it seems like they are really like. Here's my thing: is I don't know if they're really trying to build up Rusev as a face or Lashley as a heel. It feels to me like they're focused more on Lashley, but that could just be my inherent biases. I don't know. But regardless, I think that, well, this is a tables match. So I'm going to give the edge to Lashley because of that, because he has more impact moves. Like he has more moves where he will lift you up and throw you down, whereas Rusev's moves are not really that kind of like Rusev, he has the accolade, which is grounded. He does the super kick, but that's not going to necessarily put anyone through a table. He doesn't really have stuff that is designed to put someone through a table. Whereas Lashley, he could spear Rusev through a table that's set up in the corner. He could do the vertical suplex thing that he did to Sami Zayn last year a few times. He could do the Dominator. Like he's got moves that are practically designed for a tables match. So I'm picking Lashley based on his move set.
Okay, you're picking Lashley to win this. God. Who got the upper hand on Raw most recently? Because I think I might have glossed over that segment. I did watch a good bit of Raw, I feel like, but I might have missed anything that they did. But then again, that never really matters.
I mean, they've been opening Raw lately, so let me see if I can actually... I'm going to pull up a Raw review just to quickly see if I can find the immediate results. 12... What was it? 12-5? 12-9. 12-9-19. Okay. I guess I'll just do the old 411 Mania Raw review. Let's see. Drew McIntyre, Matt Hardy. The divorce, that's what it was. The divorce. It's really just a refresher. Rusev put Bobby through the table.
Okay. Yeah, I know that logic doesn't always work. Like, whoever wins on TV, kind of loses at the pay-per-view.
You know what, though, dude? To be fair, the study that I always like to quote that said that it was almost 50-50 was only based on the main event of the television, not the entire show.
I'm going to go with Bobby on this, too. I was honestly thinking I'd go Rusev, but here's the thing, too, dude. This has been doing this is how I can justify Bobby winning. This has been doing such great numbers on YouTube and stuff, and I don't even know how it's been doing in the Nielsen ratings, but like it's been drawing
Poorly.
numbers poorly.
Yeah, I can tell you with certainty that these are some of the segments that lose the most viewers on television, but you are right that they do very well on YouTube. So I think it's an example of like people don't want to watch it as it's happening. They want to be able to skip through the cringe, but they still are interested enough that they go to YouTube to watch this stuff, you know?
And I think that's alluring enough to Vince, because if it wasn't, I don't think he'd still be promoting this the way that he is, and he's still loving it. So if you have the babyface win, there's no more
and plus,
story.
I don't think Vince really gives a shit about ratings either. I think that Vince is just trying to entertain himself, and this does that.
Yeah. So if you have the babyface win, there's really no more story. So he's got to keep it going. So Lashley wins. So yeah, I'll co-sign on with you. Bobby Lashley puts Rusev through a table.
Yep. All right. And you know, too, the other big thing about that is WWE likes to have their baby faces lose table matches because they stay protected. So it does make sense in that sense too. Let's get to Black Murphy though. This is a really interesting match that I think you and I were both speculating might happen earlier on in the year. I know that you had a really great argument that you didn't want it to happen because you felt like neither guy could afford to lose. And I think we're at the point now that I love Buddy Murphy and I want him to succeed, but I think he is an Intercontinental Champion in his prime whenever he manages to reach that prime. I think Aleister Black is a fucking megastar and he needs to win this thing. So any kind of analysis that you have to offer, go now. Because I think I'm gonna end up picking Black, but I want to hear your side first.
You, as per usual, summed it up excellently. I would say, and I don't mean this as an insult, and I know I'm about to play the lava game with my words here. I would say that Buddy Murphy is the Dolph Ziggler of this generation when Dolph Ziggler was still cool. And that I think he is going to lose his way, or at least have really big matches, whether he wins or loses, that are going to get him bigger opportunities because he sells great.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know why you're saying that. There's just such a negative connotation associated with Ziggler now that it's hard to kind of fully.
It's hard to filter that out. No, I totally get that. But I get such.
But like, if you're saying that like 2019 Buddy Murphy is the 2019 equivalent to like 2012 Dolph Ziggler, I totally see where you're coming.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, dude. Like, I get those fucking vibes. Like, this is the guy that's going to go out with your workhorses, with your main event players, and he's going to knock it all out of the park.
And you just have to not drop the ball with him and make him lose his passion the way they did with Dolph.
Exactly. And now he does get wins here and there, but like the biggest win being against the most selfless guy in the fucking industry, Daniel Bryan.
D-Bry, baby.
D-Bry, the real wrestling god. Fuck out of here, Bradshaw. But no, like he really is. Like he is that stand-in to me, and that could either be really good if they do it right this time around, or we've already seen like the bad side of it.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna have a fucking gangbusters match. But I agree with you, dude, 1,000%. Aleister Black, whenever all the parties are ready, because I know Aleister's got to be healthy on his end, and WWE's got to fucking commit. I know that terrifies them.
Oh, I know.
You put him across from Brock or The Fiend, and you know it says something about Aleister's allure.
Dude, he could be a fucking Undertaker WrestleMania opponent, unironically.
Yeah. Like, put this guy across from anybody, and there's always going to be somebody betting on him. That's how legit he fucking is. There is no opposition to him where it's like, oh yeah, he's getting squashed or whatever. Like that doesn't, and it shouldn't, more importantly, that's the more important term, shouldn't exist in the Aleister Black narrative. So he's going to win here, but both guys are going to look fucking amazing. This match is going to be awesome. Cannot wait for this.
All right. Are we ready to move on to our next match?
Yeah, Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. Let's do it.
And I am going to lock in that I am sticking with Black there because it's one of those situations where I think that Black has a certain mystique that you have to protect a little more than Murphy. Like Murphy we've already seen him lose on TV. We might have seen Black lose, but I forget. But I know we've seen Murphy lose on TV already. And I know that Murphy can recover from a loss. Like he lost to Roman Reigns. He lost to Ali. He's taken some L's. But I don't think that they kill his credibility at all because I don't think that people really have high expectations for him. Whereas with Aleister Black, if you give him a loss at this stage, it will really reduce his momentum. And he has a lot of it right now, I think. So even like whether it's from a kayfabe standpoint or just a booking logical standpoint or whatever, this needs to be Aleister's match to win. So anyway, let's move on to Bray versus Miz, though. I mean, God, this is so interesting to me because it is Bray and it is non-title, which really opens me up to, are they making it this way so that they can have the Miz win and just show the little chink in Bray Wyatt's armor, in the Fiend's armor, being that if he's not the Fiend, you can beat him? Or is this more the opposite? Is this more to show like he doesn't need to be the Fiend? He's still a damn good wrestler and dominant. Like I'm real. And dude, he even talked on SmackDown tonight. He talked about how, did you know you could train yourself to not feel pain? Like he was basically kayfabe explaining why he no-sells everything.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, can I talk about... Actually, no, because I feel like you were on a chain of thought. If you just want to finish that.
No. You need to go. You want to say something. Say it.
No, because what's so genius about this, they've solved the Brock problem. Because everybody was like, well, you can't have Fiend wrestle every show, whatever. It like doesn't feel special, which I already feel like they kind of showed in one way that he wasn't going to be another Brock. But if they ever wanted to like pull the Fiend back, you just have Bray wrestle in his place. So, like, you still get Bray in a way while the Fiend still feels special. Granted, he still has the Universal title, so maybe it doesn't totally solve the Brock problem, but there's presence there that Brock just doesn't have. And, like, it works brilliantly with the gimmick. And what I was going to say, to your point, you could give Miz the win and show the chink in the armor. You're absolutely right about that. Or you have Miz lose, and like I told you when we were playing Rocket League together, if Miz loses to Bray Wyatt, people only change when they lose to the Fiend. So if they wanted to protect Miz as a face because, well, maybe we just don't know how to write him as a heel at this particular time, and he is staying over with the crowd, have him lose to Bray, that mythology doesn't apply. This gimmick is brilliant on every fucking level, dude. Amazing. So I'm going to pass the ball back to you because, again, you were building up to something, so please continue. I just had to really bring that up on the more meta side of things. It just
Dude, I think you might overestimate me. I wasn't really building up to anything. My main point was you could either go with The Miz to show that the Fiend, quote unquote, the Fiend is mortal as long as he's not the Fiend, or you could give the win to Bray to establish that he's still really, really dominant despite that. And then, like, the whole thing with him explaining on SmackDown tonight, like, you could block pain and make it so that you don't feel pain and all that stuff. Like, they think that tonight really solidified for me that Bray is going to win here, but I was really waffling up until this point. But yeah, I am going to pick Bray to win because of the fact that we saw that at Firefly Funhouse tonight where he talked about how you could block out pain, and that was Bray Wyatt, you know, Mr. Rogers Bray saying that, not trying to channel the Fiend. Like, he was just himself saying that. So I really think he's going to win. But I'm curious, I'm really curious if we're going to see the Fiend, like if maybe he wins and then the Fiend drags the Miz either away or under the ring or whatever. I don't know if that's going to happen, or if maybe we'll see Daniel Bryan. I really like this match. To me is like, I want to fast forward through the match to get to the finish and the post match.
Yeah, I'm already looking on WWE's YouTube channel. When you and I get done here, I want to watch both Firefly Funhouse videos, because there's one that says Firefly Funhouse invades the Miz's home, and then a new friend apparently joined Bray Wyatt, who, with the pigtails and everything, kind of looks a bit maybe like a Liv Morgan. I know that's been a theory for a long fucking time, so we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, I definitely want to watch both of those videos because I got wrapped up in personal stuff tonight, so I couldn't actively watch SmackDown, but The Fiend is something I always want to keep up with, whether live or on YouTube. I always want to know what's going on. That's still my favorite gimmick in the company. So I'm going to say Bray to win. Yeah, I'm locking that in. Bray to beat Miz.
All right, next up, let's talk about the Raw Tag titles. I mean, we know the Viking Raiders are the champions and that they're going to be defending the titles, but who do we think it's going to be against? I already told you. I'm predicting the AOP, but I'm going to let you tell me who you think is going to be, and more importantly, who you think is going to win.
Well, let me just say right now, if Robert didn't screw up and it was Rudolph versus Viking Raiders, it would have been very easy.
Well, no, it couldn't have been Rudolph or SmackDown guys.
Oh, that's right. Shit. Yeah, then knowing they're pulling this TBD card just, you know, randomly, I can agree with you about AOP, but man. Actually, no, you know what? It's either going to be AOP or it's going to be fucking Gallows and Anderson so the Viking Raiders can get their win back from Crown Jewel.
Okay.
Because remember, Gallows and Anderson won the gauntlet and they gave Viking Raiders, like AJ even said in kayfabe, you gave them their first loss. Yep. So they may be wanting to look to even that out. So I'll say that it's going to be Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, though. I'm glad you said that because now I am changing my pick to agree with you.
Awesome. Yeah, Viking Raiders are retaining. I like Gallows and Anderson as performers. I really miss them in New Japan, if I'm perfectly honest, because I even feel like since running with AJ, they really
especially Anderson.
Yeah. Oh my, gun stun forever. I just feel like even running with AJ, where they're probably having more fun, their credibility really hasn't changed to me. And Viking Raiders just need to dominate because I stand by that Viking Raiders versus AOP is absolutely a WrestleMania match, especially now that the latter are associating with Seth Rollins. So I'm going to say it's going to be Gallows and Anderson and Viking Raiders retain.
Yeah, I really like that. I definitely agree. Really glad that you brought that up because I just don't remember Gallows and Anderson like off the top of my head the way you did. So they just don't cross my mind as a general rule, unfortunately. Like I really like at least Anderson. Like Gallows is good as far as a big man goes. I just really like Carl Anderson in New Japan. And in WWE, he just does nothing for me because I don't think they really let him do anything. Plus, he doesn't have the gun stun to have those crazy fun finishing sequences. So it's like he's been completely neutered. They're still good workers. I'm not trying to, shit on them or anything. I just really preferred, especially Anderson, but really both of them in New Japan. But
yeah,
that being said, I do think that the fact that AJ mentioned specifically on TV, and I actually saw this too when it happened, that Anderson and Gallows handed the Viking Raiders their first loss on the main roster. I think that is exactly what's going to lead to this being them. So yeah, I think it was a great kind of revelation for you to bring them up in the first place. And yeah, I'm going to agree with you and pick Viking Raiders to win and retain. But if it is AOP, I'm going to go out of my way here to say if it is AOP, I do think AOP are going to win the titles.
Yeah, and I will agree with you on that too, if that does happen. So, yeah, we'll say AOP if it's them, Viking Raiders to retain if it is the OC. Yeah.
All right, next up, New Day versus Revival ladder match. This right here. I mean, if Black Murphy doesn't steal the show, this certainly will steal the show, my lord.
Yeah, oh my God, this match. Yeah, man, let's talk about it. New Day Revival. It's been a great on-again, off-again rivalry, with these teams. And they're going to be represented by Kofi and Big E. Unfortunately, Xavier will not be in this because I would have loved a leg shatter spot in a ladder match, but his cry face, unfortunately, will not be on display. Yeah, man, Revival are going to fucking kill it. We know that. Kofi and Big E, they're reliable. They're good hands, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Like, you put them in a spot like this, they're going to deliver. It's just a question of who wins. Honestly, dude, it's kind of a shock to me that we're still talking in 2019 about New Day being tag team champions. Like, I just have to get that out there. Like, it's still kind of surreal that this group is still together and they're still, like, accumulating the tag titles, especially after Kofi had the WWE title run. You think they'd cool off on New Day, but they're still holding fucking gold. That's a testament to their staying power, man. That's insane.
It's pretty impressive for sure.
Dude, like, how long have they been together now? Like, hasn't this been going on since, like...
I don't remember. When did they debut? Do you know when they debuted?
Yeah, let me see when their debut was. Let's see.
Oh, my God.
Let's see.
5 years.
Holy fucking shit. Like, wow. Like, they might be in the conversation for greatest faction of all time simply for their fucking staying power and still doing championships and stuff like that. For 5 fucking years. So
their
yeah,
their first official match as the New Day was December 1st, 2014. So it's almost 5 years to the day.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know what made me go on that aside. It just kind of sent me just seeing, like, in the description that you typed up, New Day champions, like, again, in 2019. Revival, unfortunately, haven't had that kind of good fortune. God, I miss them in NXT so fucking much. I don't know, man, if they're going to want to cut and leave or not. I keep hearing that they want to leave. I feel like I hear that every month now, that, Revival wants to, like, get out of here and do other stuff. I just don't know. Because, like, who does New Day feud with if they beat Revival here? Maybe Shinsuke and Cesaro as part of Sammy's clientele, but Shinsuke's already the IC champion. Like,
I know, but they're really pushing those guys hard. I really think that you might have something there.
And then with Revival, Like, let me ask you, did Shinsuke and Cesaro, did they beat Heavy Machinery tonight? Because I'm seeing in YouTube that they had them. I'm guessing they did, right? Because, you know, I
didn't even see. Let me look. Let me look here. I'll tell you in a couple seconds. Cesaro. Here it is. Yeah, Cesaro and Nakamura won. Yep, dude.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. Yep.
Yeah. People keep mentioning, guys, I just want to say it real quick, because, like, I think Kid Coheed's mentioned it. Abel might have mentioned it. People keep mentioning the Usos. Guys, we miss the Usos desperately.
Yeah,
I know, Ashton, you've mentioned them explicitly, because I know they had a direct line to you for a long time.
Yeah, dude, I wanted them to be, there was like an open challenge or something last week or the week before that. I forget when it was.
Yeah, and you even, like, yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago, because it was the post Survivor Series SmackDown.
Yeah. I want them to come back, obviously, and I know you do too, and everybody does.
God, I miss the fuck out of them.
When they're healthy, when they're ready, and like they'll set the division on fire. Sober, I want them to get their lives straight, because there has to always be a life after wrestling.
Yeah, Foster makes a great point too. I even miss Naomi at this point.
I miss Naomi too, man. Thank you, Foster, for bringing her up, because I miss her too. I feel like all three of them are needed. Like, their absence is definitely felt. So
I almost wonder if WWE, as a way of like punishing the Usos, is going to hold them out until post-Mania.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's like you guys fucked up. You're going to get your lives right, and even if you do get your lives right in time for Mania, you're not going to be on Mania as a punishment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you missed out on the Mania payday.
There isn't a Mania payday anymore, brother. It's on the network.
Oh, God, why is everything awful?
I'm telling you, the biggest paydays these days are the Saudi shows, which is what makes it so fucking disgusting that the women aren't allowed to go there.
Oh, I hate everything.
But that's neither here nor there.
12 counterclockwise temple rubs later. Okay. So, yeah, if Usos were to come back post-Mania, because what does it matter anyway if nobody's getting those Mania paydays anymore? I'm not angry. They could feud either with New Day or Revival. So that is a great point, but that's still a few months away.
I'm picking New Day to retain here, straight up. I just like when we went and I looked and I saw that Cesaro and Nakamura won. And you mentioned, like, this was all you mentioned them as potential contenders. That like clicked in my brain, like, oh well, that's our Rumble feud right there. It's gonna be, the New Day versus Cesaro and Nakamura.
Fiddlesticks. I do this to myself again, opening my mouth. All right, yeah, it seems solid. They need a Rumble feud before Mania, where they'll probably do a hodgepodge anyway. So, New Day to retain. And I don't know if Revival's going to leave or not. I don't even know if I want them to leave or not. I just want them to be able to go to a place where I can follow them, and I don't know if they would draw my eyes to Dynamite, honestly. I'm just being truthful. If they go to AEW.
I mean, dude, if fucking Phoenix can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So New Day to win. Let's talk about this fucking match, because honestly, this will probably be my most economical, words-wise, about this fucking match, Corbin versus fucking Reigns. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go first on this, since you want to go first on the next one. Roman has really made, like, a complete and total recovery as far as his babyface status goes. He had one of the loudest WWE pops I have heard in the last 5 years tonight when he showed up to save, I forget who it even was. That was, the New Day. It was the New Day. To save the New Day. When Roman's music hit, Corbin had a can of Alpo. He was getting ready because he had, I want to say it was Kofi, handcuffed to the post like he had Roman last week. And they had just taken out Big E. I forget what they did to him, but they took him out. They did something big to take him out. I think Cesaro stomped him or something along those lines. And Corbin had a fucking can of Alpo. He was getting ready to put the dog food on Kofi. And Roman's music hit, and you would have thought it was fucking 99 Steve Austin, for fuck's sakes.
Holy shit.
Lost their absolute minds. And Dude, I think the WWE, whether by hook or by crook, has managed to make Roman Reigns their top babyface again because he is getting this huge reception. He's probably going to win the Royal Rumble, and that is going to be another sort of speed bump on his babyface momentum's journey, because I'm wondering if that would make some of the crowd turn against him. Like, oh, you build up all this goodwill and you get people to like you again, and then you go back to winning the fucking Royal Rumble. And one that Daniel Bryan is actually in this time. Like,
yeah, dude.
I mean, to me, it's obvious that Roman is winning this. He has to win this. He's probably even going to win it despite Dolph Ziggler interference and a plenty of it. But they're really like, we're back in the we got to make Roman look strong era.
Yeah, I hate to do this to the momentum of our commentary. I kind of want to live react to this pop because you built it up so much. So let me just look this up.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would complain about a live reaction within a preview.
Holy shit! Oh my god! That was for Roman?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the same way I felt.
Oh, dude. Okay. Only because you mentioned the pop. And again, I hate to do this to the momentum of our coverage, but this is what we do anyway, so it's not like I'm doing anything out of the ordinary. I have to have a sidebar real quick. I'm going to feel so bad for Roman if the crowd turns on him again. I never thought I'd say that because this is not his fault. Just the same way it wasn't his fault the first time.
Yeah.
They're going to fuck this up. I feel so sorry for it. Like, no, I am being 100% sincere.
Dude, to be fair, I'm also laughing at Foster's last comment. He said, to be fair, Ashton, it's Corbin. I've cheered for molar surgery over him.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck this poor guy over again. He's been such a great ambassador, and I think his heart's in the right place. Like, obviously, fuck Susan G. Komen. Like, we've been over that, like, as an organization. But as far as, like, speaking out against cancer and stuff, I think Roman's been very sincere. His heart's in the right place. He's obviously a good dude. I think getting these pops legit probably means the world to him because he knows how he
and
used
that's
to
the
be
other thing,
to.
too, is, like, it's still, like, it's live. So it's not like they're, like, editing the audio like they used to do when
that was live fucking shit that I heard.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And they're going to fuck it up. They're going to fuck this up. Because here's the thing. I would put him in a world title match at Mania because you can't prolong the inevitable, and I'm not trying to. But I
think my biggest problem with the way that they've handled him is that they have, like, how many coronations do you need before you finally just give him what you want to give him?
Exactly. And, like, I would have him take the scenic route, which is why I think the pay-per-view exists for certain acts to take the scenic route of the Elimination Chamber and go that way. Because Rumble, to me, I just feel like...
Dude, is it not crazy to you that Daniel Bryan to this day still has not won a Royal Rumble?
Dude, that fucking mind-boggling to me. I think he should. I would give Daniel the Rumble, Roman the Chamber.
Yeah.
And honestly...
Dude, Bryan needs to go after Bork and have Roman stay on SmackDown for The Fiend.
And that's my... Dude, we're going to have so much talk about this road to WrestleMania because... And the only reason I say that, it's not just the usual hubbub of WrestleMania, which is like 90% of it, but the other 10% is the Roman Reigns problem. Because it's going to be a problem again. They're going to make it a problem. So how do you solve it? Do you have him go after Brock again, which would probably be the smarter choice, or do you have him go against The Fiend, which could be a great choice if you have the balls for The Fiend to go over.
Turn. Yeah.
And then, but
because if he goes against The Fiend, he has to fail in turn, and then that begins the long road to him beating The Fiend, being the first person to beat The Fiend at WrestleMania 37.
And earning his redemption, which should be a crowning babyface moment. Yeah. So you can either take the scenic route with The Fiend, which, let's be honest, I can't expect WWE to keep pace for that long.
Right.
They're going to trip over. They're going to fall on their faces. They're going to come in contact with a hornet's
Or they're just going to have Roman beat him first try.
Exactly. Like, every misstep you could take on the scenic route, they're going to take it, and it's going to be ugly. Like, really ugly. Or you can have him beat Brock, which anybody would be grateful for because it's fucking Brock, and I think his value, for me, has been all used up. Just to answer the question for what we're actually fucking talking about, Roman to beat Corbin in TLC for sure. I don't know why this is getting the TLC stiff when nothing's hanging above the ring. I'm against that personally, but I'm a purist in that way. That's my hang up. It's whatever. Roman's definitely winning. But that pop, I'm so glad that I live reacted to it and that you said something about it, because at first I'm like, oh, come on, Ashton. That's a nice soundbite and everything. But let's be honest. And it's you listen to it, it's oh, I was wrong. Yeah, I'm a head out because I don't want to see the car wreck that's about to happen. I'm so sorry for Roman, because when I think about the person, and that's why, I know I do the whole shtick, scumbag, and there are some people that I genuinely do not think, or genuinely do think shouldn't be wrestling. When I dog on Saya Ida, for instance, for those of you that join us for our Stardom commentaries, I'm kind of sincere. I don't think she should be a wrestler. I'm sorry. I don't see it happening for her. For Roman, a lot of the criticism really has nothing even to do with him.
It's what he's given and the way that he's booked and portrayed and everything.
Yeah. Because the guy absolutely should be in this business for looking the way he does. His matches are genuinely good, especially.
Well, I was even about to say, Roman, if Roman would have come up through the Young Lions system, he'd be one of the best in the world right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roman Reigns is the victim of shitty WWE training protocol.
Yeah. Yeah, it really fucking is, dude. And you guys have never heard me speak with this kind of sincerity about fucking Roman Reigns, but I genuinely feel for this dude. Because I think WWE is looking at that, and they're like, oh, we have our Mania road to WrestleMania all set up. But they still, and that's the thing, I have to really be careful with my words here. Obviously, the cancer was a fucking tragedy and this and that, but I think one reason why he got sober wasn't just because it was real life and he was fighting for his life, but because we naturally respond to vulnerability. People going through hard times. I'm sick. I lost my job. This and that. And it had to take real fucking life in the worst way imaginable that should have never happened to him, or anyone for that matter, fuck cancer, to give him vulnerability. If WWE cannot give Roman vulnerability, this is going to fail. And they don't know how. Life had to step in and do it. That's so fucking sad. Make him vulnerable. That's why I'm saying don't have him win the Rumble. Have him be the last one thrown out. That makes him
that would be. I mean, I don't know about the last one thrown out, but definitely one of the final three.
Or dude, fuck! If you really wanted to blow minds like they did with Daniel Bryan that one year, just to get the crowd, get the boos out of the way and stuff, have him eliminated in the middle of the fucking thing. Can you imagine Roman Reigns eliminated in the middle of the fucking Rumble?
Yep.
Doesn't even make it to the final four. Make this man vulnerable, goddammit, for his sake.
Literally just book Roman the way that you want to book Daniel Bryan, except have him win in the end, eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. I just fucking hell. Yeah. Hey, poor Saya Ida getting roasted in on-Stardom commentary now. Well, maybe she should have thought about that before she had that face. But more importantly, God, my place in hell is set. And that's why I wanted to be very careful mentioning the fucking cancer and everything, because I don't mention it oh, what did that? I don't mean it in that way. But people naturally are empathetic to other people. Vulnerability is what binds all of us. And if you can't fucking write that, nobody's going to look at him as a hero that beat The Fiend or even beat Brock. Maybe definitely more so Brock, to be fair. But they're going to make him fucking Superman, and I can't bear to watch it. Not even because it's oh, whatever, but because that was so genuine, that pop. And it's fuck me. Fuck me that they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot. It's happening again, dude. We're watching it happen again. And it's just so disappointing. And Deluxe Man's here. Alex, great to see you. But he could be that guy if they just, God, if they didn't fucking have him Hulk up.
It's actually really interesting that he says WWE needs a top babyface. Look at the background image of the video right now. The Miz could literally be their top babyface if they wanted him to be. They had an opportunity earlier this year to make him into that main event player, and they were just like, nah, fam, we're good. We prefer 20. We prefer what was it, 2010 shitty WrestleMania 27 pre-actual talent Miz.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I just know I'm going to be spinning my wheels here and I'm going to be getting redundant. And all of this is just to say the road to WrestleMania is going to tell us so much. And I feel like the one thing that it's going to tell us, that I'm going to plug my ears, close my eyes, and everything else, is that Roman's the man again. And I have no problem with him being the man. It's just how they conceive it and how they actualize that every fucking time just leaves me sighing and being like, where's the staying, And they do this with every top guy. Like, I don't know what WWE's fixation is, because I was even going back when John Cena won the title at WrestleMania 21. I watched his I Quit match with JBL. And, like, even though obviously he won it and he did whatever, they had him fucking bleed before that win came. And it's like, shit. I don't know what it is about WWE, but then we saw Super Cena, just like Super Hogan, getting up right after a fucking tombstone the night Undertaker won his first world title. I don't know what it is with WWE and thinking that top babyfaces can't be vulnerable, because why do you think Daniel Bryan worked? Why do you think fucking Kofi worked earlier this year?
Like, why do you think Spider-Man is more popular than Superman, you dumb shits?
Yeah, like, why do you think fucking Eddie worked and people went crazy when he beat fucking Brock Lesnar? Because he was Eddie Guerrero at the time and that was Brock fucking Lesnar. I love Eddie to death, but let's call a spade a spade. That was Brock fucking Lesnar. Like, make your fucking people vulnerable. Jesus Christ. So Roman wins. They're going to ruin the pop. I'm going to rip. I don't even need to rip because I've got a hairline worse than Corbin's now. But, like, fucking hell, if I could regrow hair, I'd do it for the purposes of just ripping it out in fucking clumps like The Fiend did to Bryan a few weeks ago. And it's just going to be another Mania where it's like what could have been and nothing fucking matters. So, yeah.
But John, pirate ships!
Oh, please kill me. Okay. Let's talk about this fucking main event. And the reason why I wanted to go first wasn't even so I could gush over this potentially being Kyrie's first main event. Although, oh my god, you guys, it could be Kyrie's first main event. Oh my god.
Potentially, hopefully.
Dude, with fucking Becky, all these fucking people that I see on my Twitter feed. Becky's so amazing. She's main evented. Look at all she's doing. She better fucking take Kyrie to her first main event. I'm counting on you, Bex. I'm fucking counting on you. And you too, Charlotte. Be good for something for once. For once. Do something right in your life just once, besides having a proper last name that gets you everything. Once. Two trains of thought about this match. And I just wanted to go first because I wanted to share these very quickly. Okay. I already shared the first one with you, Ashton. You already know what's coming. I could see Becky and Charlotte winning the tag titles. Dominique Adams kind of threw it in my face, because I love him. I love him to death. He's a great guy. Also a dickweed, which is why I'm proud of him, because he definitely took Scum Squad to heart, probably even more than I did, which is horrifying. And so he's like, oh, Charlotte has to win the tag titles, so then she'll be a Grand Slam champion. Well, thank you for just killing my dreams. That was great. So could happen for that. Becky 2 belts again, which obviously, like WWE, I absolutely could see them pulling the trigger. And I told you in the broader scheme of things, I could see WWE building up Ronda, Charlotte, Becky 2. Ronda has the Rumble win. Becky has the title, but Charlotte also wants the title, but it's the women's tag champions fighting for the Raw Women's Championship. We've seen that concept before. John Cena and Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania, I want to say 23, were tag team champions together when they fought for the WWE Championship. They've done it before. No reason they can't do it with the women. That was my first train of thought. And then I'm trying to think, because I didn't want to believe it, right? I wanted to, outdo myself with my own logic. Then I'm thinking about number 2 here, the second train of thought. Now, the only problem with this is I don't know where this leaves Charlotte, but I could see, I have this moment in my head, right? And I crystallized it. I wanted to articulate it to all of you guys. The closing moments of this TLC match. Becky's on one side of the ladder. Asuka's on another, because Becky's whole fixation this whole fucking time has been Asuka. I want my match with Asuka. I want to close things with Asuka. They're fighting. They're duking it out. Maybe Kyrie, if there is a fucking wrestling god, and God forbid I get to be happy one fucking time, she got insane elbowed by Kyrie off a ladder through a table. Charlotte's out, and obviously Kyrie jumping from that height, she's out. Comes down to Asuka and Becky. Becky looks like she's going to do it. She has her hand on the title, and the fucking miss spot comes right at the top of the ladder. Becky's blinded, she falls off the ladder. Asuka gets the titles using the mist at the very fucking end of the match. Kabuki Warriors win, which also then sets up the match Becky really wants 1 year later.
The
Asuka
rematch
Becky
with Asuka, yep.
to a Royal Rumble.
Dude, I want that so bad. Like, the sad thing is, I know that they would just have Becky retain, and that's disappointing because I fucking love Asuka. And, like, so does the crowd. Like, she is one of the very few, alongside, like, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and I honestly struggle to even think of someone. Sasha Banks, I think, qualifies here. Someone that the WWE does not have to put any effort into pushing whatsoever. But as soon as they start hinting that she's getting a few wins and maybe he's going to be doing some relevant stuff in soon, the crowd loses their shit for her.
Yeah.
Like, Asuka is, like, ever over. She is in that status where, like, WWE doesn't have to do shit with her. They could give her all the chicken shit. She doesn't even have to turn it into chicken salad because her existence is chicken salad. Like, she just exists in this space where everybody just loves her, and at the drop of the dime, they're willing to lose their shit for her if she gets in.
Yeah. So you've heard my two trains of thought. Now the question is, which train did I board? And I know it's biased, and I know it's
too.
Yeah, no, I, and this is going to be where John is once again clouded by his fandom. But I think that Asuka Becky match too will have a lot of fire behind it if they go with this. I think Kabuki Warriors are going to retain because it's going to come back to that one narrative component of their heel work, the fucking mist. Asuka's going to do it at the top of the ladder to Becky. That's very important. It wouldn't have the same effect if it was Charlotte for what they're building. It's going to be Becky. Becky 2 belts is close to being realized, and then Asuka,
has
missed.
Becky been misted yet?
Yes, she has. She has. Okay. Because remember, when Kairi pinned
Oh, that's
Becky,
right, when Kairi pinned her in that tag match. That's right.
Exactly. So, and this is the third option too, it still leads to Becky and Charlotte winning, which I hate. Asuka goes for the mist, but somehow it's countered to the top of the ladder. I just see that being the spot. They're at the top of the ladder, mist comes, Kabuki Warriors. And the thing is too, so in case you guys were wondering, I'm actually gonna be the fucking stupid guy because that's the function I play here, and I'm gonna go with fucking Kabuki Warriors to retain. One, because I feel like Asuka is gonna miss Becky. That's gonna segue to Asuka Becky 2 at Rumble. 2, yes, I love Kairi. I will own it. I want her to win what could potentially be her first main event because that would be fucking huge. And WWE may want to give it to her so that she'll stay because I have no idea what her contract status is. I still think she may go back to Stardom in 2020. We will see. But even if you put Kairi aside, I think Kabuki Warriors fucking need this win. I do. And here's why. One, they made the challenge to them. Like, Kairi and Asuka initially said they wanted Becky and Charlotte to challenge them. And then when Becky and Charlotte said, let's up the NETLC, they practically laughed about it. Like, they want this shit. When you have heel champions that confident, I mean, if you can make Alexa Bliss a truth teller, I think you can make Kabuki Warriors seem credible. 2, I don't even care that it's Becky and Charlotte, and I think it would be a big deal for Kabuki Warriors to beat them, but Kabuki Warriors as the tag champions, and I would argue this for any champions in the tag division, should not be losing to makeshift teams. Like, build up another team, and then everything that the Kabuki Warriors have done, like transitive property, that goes to that team that beats them and makes it feel like a moment. Give another team a moment at the Kabuki Warriors' expense. It shouldn't be these two who, I love Becky, but she's firmly earned her place now. We can say that Becky's had her fill. Like, she's had her time. Everything she fought for, she's gotten it. She's even been on the cover of the fucking video game this year. And Charlotte, I mean, I'm just going to do this one. I'm just going to say this one more time. Hey, fuck you when it comes to Charlotte. Because, I give it to Momo Watanabe, but the difference is Momo Watanabe is genuinely talented, and that's a gimmick. When I tell Charlotte to go fuck herself, that's as much of a shoot as you're going to
You're not talking to Charlotte Flair, the character. You're talking to Ashley Flair, the person.
You're a terrible person, by the way. How dare you lean into Corey Graves' podcast? He's toxic as fuck, and so are you. So I don't give a fuck about her. She never won another women's championship. It would be too soon, honestly.
Yeah.
They don't need this shit. Kairi and Asuka need this shit. If you want Kairi to stay, you give her this. If you want Asuka to still be that forever over that you talk about and have that credibility, have her win this shit. Like, it doesn't hurt anybody.
Have her win this shit so that she can go on to lose to Becky with a little more credibility.
I mean, yeah, but I won't even blame it because at least Becky tapped out last year. Like, I won't even be
at
that
the
mad.
peak of her powers.
At the peak of her powers. When has Charlotte ever put anybody over at the peak of her fucking powers?
I don't think Charlotte has ever tapped out, has she? Maybe to the bank statement a few times.
Yeah, maybe to the bank statement, but like, yeah, like, Jesus Christ. So Becky, I don't even mind. Like Becky, I get it because again, height of her powers, tapped out to Asuka, all that stuff. That's whatever. But yeah, I just Kabuki Warriors need this, man, because a lot of people have been saying, and it's not just me or the little enclave I've built on my Twitter of like Kyrie fans. A lot of fans, I think, generally that may not even be that invested in Kabuki Warriors are saying, yeah, they've been great women's tag team champions.
Yeah.
Because their aesthetic is great, their theme is great, they're getting heat. Like, that elbow drop to Becky was a great fucking segment, and I even, was thinking, like, oh my god, that could be a contender for Spot of the Year, because it looked fucking gorgeous, because it's Kyrie, and she does everything to the fucking letter. Like, get behind them, for God's sakes. Getting behind them, I'm not saying that it would ever rectify the wrong of not getting behind Boston Hug Connection, because they should have gotten behind Boston Hug Connection, but maybe it was for the best because we saw the chronicle of Sasha Banks. Her mental health needed to be tended to, and maybe everything worked out as it was supposed to. I don't know. But you've got another great team here. You have another chance at bat. Don't fucking blow it, because if you build up another team, which I can't keep stressing that enough, build up another fucking team, then if they beat the
build
Kabuki
up
Warriors,
fucking Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Build up the former members of the Riot Squad.
Fuck yeah. Like anybody. And then when they beat the Kabuki Warriors, it's like, holy shit, they beat the guys that beat Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in a TLC match. Yeah. Like, it's not that hard. So you know what? Fuck it. We've done this for years now. I can't count how many preview and predictions we've done. And there's always that one match where I'm like, hey, guys, look at me. I'm going to go on the fringe there, and I'm going to pick these people. But you know what? I'm going with fucking Kabuki Warriors because it's the right fucking thing, damn it. Becky and Charlotte don't need this. Women's wrestling doesn't need them holding the women's tag titles. What women's wrestling needs is this positive representation of Joshi wrestlers in the WWE, main eventing a pay-per-view and walking out the fucking winners. That's what women's wrestling fucking needs.
Hell yeah.
Fucking Kabuki War. Because you know what? Everything that Gail Kim has ever said, any other talent has said, I'm not saying WWE retcons it by having Kabuki Warrior wins. I'm not trying to be ridiculous or hyperbolic. But I am saying, if you really want to show that there is a chance to overturn that shit.
Even a modicum of progress.
Exactly. You have those two walk the fuck out of that arena with those titles over their heads held fucking high. Kabuki Warriors to retain. Fuck Charlotte Flair.
Yes! Preach, brother, preach. My hands are in the air. Yes.
Do you? Now, here's the question, because I know you're more sensible than I.
Fuck.
Yeah, I was going to say, after all that energy, where are you going, brother? Are you joining me, or am I just
rooting? I am rooting for you to be right.
Yeah, I know it.
I'm really rooting for you to be right, but I just can't pick that way.
That's okay. I understand. It's
like I said, I'm cynical as fuck, and I'm picking cynical as fuck. I'm picking Charlotte and Becky to win, and then I'm picking them to face each other for Becky's title at Royal Rumble, because I don't think that Vince actually sees anything in the Kabuki Warriors.
That's really fucking sad.
Yes, it is, and they should be ashamed of themselves, but I mean, if there's any consolation, Charlotte won't win the Rumble, then because of it, it'll just be fucking Ronda then.
I feel like I can't even, that's so depressing, and you're not even wrong. Like, I wish I could be like, no, Ashton, you're wrong, and here's why. And then you're just like, and you just being the considerate person you are, you're listening attentively, you're giving me eye contact, Okay, John, here's my rebuttal. What's that?
It's WWE.
Yeah, and then you just show me something, and I'm like, what is this? This bottomless pit is WWE's history of positive representation of women in women's wrestling. It's like, no, but wait, what about Sasha? Never had a successful title defense. No, well, what about Kurt? No, lost the main event. No!
Ember Moon? Nope.
Chavo!
He brought it back. I've been rewatching Lucha Underground from the beginning. I'm on like episode 10 or 11.
You know what, Abel? Your face is the early thing to win my life. I'm sorry. I'm turning up now because I just had that impassioned thing, and then Ashton was like, I got reality held down, fam. Don't you worry. Call me fucking gravity because nothing's leaving the earth in this shit. And just like, no, Becky and Charlotte get priority. And I don't even want to be mad at Becky. God knows she's a sweetheart and she actually gives a shit. Charlotte, I really don't care. Yeah, I gotta go Kabuki Warriors on principle. But dude, let me just say though, I totally get why you can't join me. Like, I 1000% understand, and I think it's a damn shame. Like, the real problem here is that WWE has created a culture where, like, you sincerely and soberly can't join me or anybody else that may have that optimism, and for good fucking reason. Because the culture says, Charlotte wins everything, you get nothing. Really, really sad.
You being just not Charlotte, just literally anyone else other than Charlotte.
Yeah, and apparently, I've been trying to make the connection here. Apparently, PCO beat Rush for the ROH World title, so it's great to see the wrestling's doing great. Yeah, Roosh, excuse me. But yeah, fucking PCO won the world title, so it's so great to see the wrestling.
How old is PCO again? What is he, 53, 52?
Yeah, and he's not a Suzuki 52 either. Well, Suzuki's 51, but you get my point. Yeah.
I'm Googling Pierre Carloulet. 51.
Wow, so, well, my God, it's night and day between Suzuki's 51 and PCO's 51. Yeah.
He's like, 51, motherfucker. PCO's just like, 51, you've got a problem with it?
Oh, God, my knee, my bursitis.
My bursitis.
But, yeah, God, I didn't expect Premium Predictions to be this. Oh, who am I kidding? I totally expected it to be this. I planned to turn up the entire time. But, yeah, I hope Kabuki Warriors win, man. You guys have both heard my trains of thought. They're going to fucking do women's tag champions versus each other and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. I mean, a lot of people are even thinking they may just keep it to Becky and Ronda one-on-one. I don't know about that, fam, and I only don't know it because Charlotte Flair might throw a fucking hissy fit about what she's going to do at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was even thinking, like, I feel like the appearance on Graves' podcast and then the fact that WWE's official Twitter posted a quote and a clip from said podcast, that tells me that the Charlotte machine is about to ramp the fuck up.
Yeah. No one survives. Fuck. I am so sorry,
I really would appreciate it if you didn't associate Charlotte Flair with Daddy Ciampa.
I'm sorry, okay? But you know what, though? There is one good thing to always come out of you being cynical to my insane optimism, and that is, if you are wrong, it makes our live reactions that much better.
Yes.
So if I am seeing Kairi and Asuka on the top of a ladder with the women's tag titles, fuck noise pollution, because I will destroy the goddamn earth. Yeah, I'm here for it. Let's see what happens. That's Premium Predictions, guys. And I think, honestly, just for that women's TLC match and just for the idea that Asuka and Kairi could main event and could take it to fucking Charlotte and Becky, my hype has actually gone up to a 9 out of 10. Let's fucking do it, Kairi. Let's main event this fucking pay-per-view and let's get a fucking win. I'm really excited.
Admittedly,
now.
my hype has gone up as well, but not by as much as yours. Like, I haven't gone up by a full point like you did, but I did go up by a half a point, so I'm at 8 out of 10 now. All
right. Let's make it happen, guys. Let's do TLC live reactions, and however it ends, at least we'll all get through it together. So that's all from me. We will see you.
Face happen.
Oh God, please do. So, ooh, I'm here for it.
I think I was a consignathus there.
Oh my God, he named things. So I guess what, Sunday at 7, right, Ashton,
yes,
for TLC live reactions? Yes, sir. TLC live reactions. You guys better be there because I was just very emotionally vulnerable just now, and I remember all of your faces that were in the chat. So if one of you doesn't show up, I'll know. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll let your imagination do the rest. So 7 p.m., you guys know when to be here. You guys know when to emotionally support us when Kabuki Warriors are having the match of their fucking lives. And let's all hope that things go well. I'm going to hand it over to Ashton to take us home. Good sir.
Yes.
That you take us home. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you all enjoyed our TLC preview and predictions. If you did, leave a like on this video before you file out. That is the best way to let us know that you're enjoying what we're doing, and it is highly appreciated on our end, and it helps with our visibility as well. You can also subscribe to the channel if you're new. Click the bell icon to join the notification squad. Follow us both on Twitter and on Twitch. Like our Facebook page. Buy our merch on Teespring. Donate to our Patreon. And share this channel and this video with all of your wrestling fan friends. And let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube wrestling community. That's right, we are TwitWow, and we are the workhorses of the YWC. And as of right now, the current plans are live reactions to this show on Sunday, NXT live reactions on Wednesday, and Stardom whenever the fuck we can. I don't know however quickly they're going to be able to get the 12-14 and 12-15 shows uploaded, but as soon as they are uploaded in full, that will be when we live react to those shows. So, and it'll be, you know, as long as they're uploaded in full by 6 o'clock on any given day, because we don't like going live after 6 for Stardom because of, you know, afternoon and evenings. You know, we don't want to be stale live, you know, at like 8:30 at night, because every day but Thursday is wrestling starts at least at 8, if not, you know, later than that. But still, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday are all wrestling starts at 8. I know Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are all WWE products. Tuesday is Impact, and we have a lot of people that like to watch Impact, and we don't want to try and take that time away from you. So, yeah, that's why we prefer to do Thursdays, but if it comes down to it, we can still do a Tuesday. We just have to do it a little bit earlier to make sure that we're done by 8 for the Impact fans. So, all that being said, we do hope that you all enjoyed, and whether it is for TLC on Sunday, NXT on Wednesday, or Stardom, whenever that happens to be, the most important thing that we ask you all to do is remember to stay tuned.